Okay, guys, we'll try this again. Jesus Christ, it's Monday. It's a total fucking Monday in my life. But we have AJ from Common Vision, X My Bitter End. Kevin's back. They were talking. My internet shit the bed, as it does on here once in a while, and we're going to pick it up where they left off. Go, friend.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say, essentially, we kind of segued into like what's it called again in MMA for a little bit there, talking about like UFC cards and stuff.
Okay.
Talking about the comparison of like the COVID life essentially. So, but yeah, like essentially, it's just like trying to figure out the when we were going to go back to talking about the Spotify ads and about whether or not the revenue stream. I was trying to like segue into like you, Joey, about the the whole cost efficiency thing about it and stuff. So
Okay, so now I'm not a professional musician, so my opinion on Spotify is that it's not worth it. You guys spend thousands and thousands of dollars to record something to fucking get 0.00000 whatever per stream. Like, that's bullshit, dude. You know what I mean? Like, well, you know, AJ, you guys put out your record, your vinyl for My Bitter End. You sold out in what, a fucking hour and a half? Like,
it was something like it's like 3 hours, 4 hours. It was crazy.
So now I'm not asking for numbers, but you could, you take that and try to think how many streams it would take to get close to that on Spotify, profit-wise, right?
Wow,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, like 3
probably
million?
off the top of my head, probably close to 1 million.
At
Has to
least,
be.
yeah. Like,
yeah,
I had
like
one
one
buddy
song,
of mine. One buddy of mine says, I finally reached 50,000 streams on Spotify. That's $15. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not. However, I will say everybody uses it, and it's a great advertisement and everything like that. It's wildly popular, but it dicks the artist big time. Is my
Yeah, it does. It's tough. I mean, the only, like you said, the only positive really is that you're, reaching out. Like if you get on a certain playlist or something like that, then by all means you're getting to ears that you wouldn't have gotten to otherwise. But yeah, trying to make money on it's probably, I mean, maybe, like the elite, I'm sure Post Malone makes a lot of money on it or something. Not as much as he should, but I'm sure he can, do well off of it. But, if you're not that big, probably not.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's a good, the streaming service is good for us selfish fans, I guess, when it comes down to it, because it makes music a whole lot more acceptable on that front. But it's like, I'm still like, me and Joe have always been the same kind of people when it comes to being huge fans of like the metal, like genre as a whole. I've always prided myself as using like Spotify, but yet if the band is like means as much to me, then it's like, I'm going to spend money on their products. I'll go and buy their records, but try to buy them off their, like, your guys' personal merch places or, your personal merch store.
Bandcamp or whatever, even not necessarily like Amazon and shit, because I don't even know how much of a cut Amazon takes, right? So it's like, it's one thing to say, oh, I bought your record on Amazon. It's like, oh, you dick. You could have went to the website.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just a different, and before it disconnected, I mean, that's definitely been the biggest thing for me is that, when I was in My Bitter End, this is, mid 2000s. So you had MySpace, record sales, you still came out with, an actual CD.
A full
really,
length.
the whole streaming thing wasn't figured out yet. It's just now, especially with COVID, you're not playing shows, you can't tour. You're not being able to move your merch quite as much, maybe. Maybe this time of the year, hopefully everybody is. But it's, learning these stream, the whole stream game and everything, it's completely different now. Definitely a whole new ball game. So luckily, we've been able to still make music. We record everything at my house, and then we'll source it out to, the pros to mix and master it. But that makes it a little more cost friendly for a band like us, but I couldn't imagine being like 18 again or 16 or whatever, and trying to record at a legit studio and do like multiple songs and then have to market it, and then now the whole stream thing too. I mean, there's tons of money in that part of the industry too, trying to get your numbers up. So totally different day and age for sure.
Yeah, totally different landscape when it comes to like the music industry for sure. And it's just like, in regards to it, at least hopefully it's like, you know, tours were always such a big source of income for bands like you guys, like being on the road and stuff. Like sometimes it's like, depending on the situations, obviously it doesn't always mean you make big money, but it's enough to make money to still finance your craft, right? It's a passion job, right? It's most people get into a band as a passion. It's not like, yeah, making money would be cool, but I know the real authentic part of music is to just be able to record, play, and perform your music, right? So
absolutely, yeah.
That's why that weeds it out. That weeds it out right off the hop. Is all these guys that think they're going to be making fucking millions of dollars. You know, 2 years in, their band's broken down 70 times. They fucking owe this much money to a label, maybe, and it's like, well, I guess I'll just fucking quit. You know, but you know, there's still guys slugging it out 30 years later because they fucking love it. And that's what it should be about. I think you're not going to make money doing it, but if you got the passion for it, the money doesn't really fucking matter, does it?
Yeah, it's cool too. A lot of like the older bands like that I grew up listening to and stuff like that. They're kind of, it's coming full circle now. You know, like Misery Signals was a favorite of mine. They dropping like a new EP. They're doing shows. You know, COVID wasn't happening. I'm sure they had a tour lined up. I mean,
I was supposed to see them in London. It would have been I think it was supposed to be in April, I believe, and then the pandemic lockdown happened, and I had to watch. I had all these shows lined up. I had Deftones with Gojira playing. We were going to go see Foo Fighters with my girlfriend. Well, actually, all of these were going to be with my girlfriend. And then we were going to go see, I was going to drag her to Misery Signals. I was going to drag her to
Misery Signals.
Yeah, drag her to some Strung Out with, I think it was Death by Stereo. We're playing that. Like, there was so many shows lined up that we were going to go. And then COVID just kind of put a kibosh on everything, too. So
That sucks. Misery Signals. Did you tour with Misery Signals ever?
We did not. We played a couple of shows with them. We got to play with Seven Angels, Seven Plagues, which was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that would have been a cool one. That would have been so cool. They did a
reunion. It was them and Deadwater Drowning. Who else played that? With Honor played that.
Nice.
And then a couple of our buddies there. Yeah, Cypher played, Stifling Neglect. There was one more band, and it's escaping me. But my buddy Eric played bass in it.
Nice.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, nice.
That was quite. They drove from Milwaukee to do that show, and it was in Binghamton.
Yeah. It'll always of Malice and Magnum Heart will probably always be one of my favorite metalcore albums of all time.
Same.
And like I unfortunately got late on the boat with them. Like my friends went and saw them a year prior to me hearing about them, and then I heard with the original vocalist. And then he left, and when I kind of started getting more immersed into them, Carl Schubach stepped in and took over. Who's from me and Joey's hometown in Saskatchewan. So, nice. But yeah, he did that for a long little while, and then I literally couldn't believe when they reunited with the original vocalist, and everything was coming back together, and then COVID killed a lot of things.
They put on a hell of a show. Those guys.
They did.
One time when they brought back their original vocalist, they played with. Strapping Young Lad at the fucking Riddell Center, little university bar, or whatever. Not a huge room, maybe 300 people. It was just fucking crazy.
Oh, wow.
It was crazy.
Yeah, that must have been cool. Devin did a couple of their records too, so I know he sings on a part on the new EP.
That's right.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He was showing Carl was taking tips from him when Carl first joined the band, because he went on to do a bunch of studio stuff. And Devin was teaching him shit. Like, that's pretty fucking cool. He's a good guy. Awesome. Carl's solid.
Yeah. Yeah, I've gotten to talk to him a couple times too. Yeah. In fact, I think the first time they came through my home, our home venue was in Poughkeepsie, New York, and they came through at the Loft or whatever, and it was Carl's I don't know, might have been his 10th show ever with the band or whatever. And he killed it. It was awesome. Yeah. Oh yeah,
he stepped in. I remember their first show with Carl. I think, if I'm not mistaken, was at the district or the state or something back. And I want to say it was 2005, maybe 2004. Yeah, I think I remember he did. I think they were, I think he was playing. I think they were playing with All the Remains, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. So. But yeah.
Yeah, that was the first time I ever did see Misery Signals. I was with. They went on a little run with I think it was the Red Chord and Every Time I Die. Oh, and My Bitter End played that show too.
You played with the Red Chord?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, My Bitter End. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Because I was gonna say my bitter end has like been around for a while, and you guys had a lot of lineup changes in the band. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah, because like, I know you guys had Tyler as the vocalist before you guys broke up, right? Tyler Guida, I believe, right?
Yeah.
That's cool because like I know I have Ty on Facebook and stuff, so I see his posts. He's super funny with all of his posts. I love it. But definitely a character. I love. It sounds like a fucking awesome dude. But I've heard him. I heard of him because of the last or second last incarnation of that grindcore band, Dr. Acula. So and I heard I heard that, and I heard them, and I heard him as the vocalist in it. But then I've also heard in like other interviews or from just hearing him chat, like speaking his mind, heard him say that it was a pretty bad time in his life, or it was like it just like it was a lot of like debauchery, I guess, and a lot of like fucking overs with the records. I guess Victory Records label like to screw around with a lot of people apparently. So
that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, we dodged the bullet with them, I guess.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
definitely.
See, I always thought Victory was cool. They had such a good roster.
They did.
They had
growing up, that was like the mega,
was the
like the metal hardcore label to be on. I mean, all the bands that like I was
Bury Your Dead
that time was on Victory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we actually came from my hometown of, I'm sorry, what was that?
Oh, we're just name dropping all the epic bands that have been on.
Oh yeah. Dude, fucking, I got spoiled with some of that shit, man. Like we used to go to the Chance in Poughkeepsie, like when I was like 15, 16, and we had All Out War. They were on Victory, and they lived like 20 minutes down the road. So I felt like almost every month I got to see All Out War and Hatebreed, VOD. We had a local band, Dissolve. That was fucking awesome. Candiria.
See, I forgot Candiria was on Victory.
Candiria never. Yeah. I always thought Candiria was one of those bands that didn't get the recognition they fucking deserved.
They
were like such an amazing band, dude. Especially live, they're just
so ahead of their time. I swear they were out in the like late 90s. If they were doing their like version of metalcore, even Vision of Disorder. A lot of those bands had pre-metalcore becoming in the early to mid 2000s. A lot of those bands represented that genre, like even going deeper, like bands like Earth Crisis and all them. It's just like that hardcore, hardcore and metal blending together and making just a fucking masterpiece of a sound. So,
who the fuck? What was the dude's name that we talked to from Earth Crisis? Do you remember?
Oh man, no, I can't remember.
He's in a new project,
Tooth and Claw, right? Tooth and Claw.
Tooth and Claw. Look out for those guys. Those guys are fucking crazy. But it's got members of Earth Crisis and Jesus Christ, I can't even remember. It's like a hardcore supergroup is basically what it is.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have to check those guys out. I swear I've heard the name thrown around. I'll check that out.
For sure.
Have I think if I'm not mistaken, Joey, I'm pretty sure they only have 5 or 6, like an EP's worth of songs released. I think last I checked. So
that's right. Yeah.
I did hear today on their they posted something on their Facebook saying that they got a new song coming out right away. So
that's good. That's good. Anyways, now that we've name dropped everybody, we can think of what's going on. AJ, you just put that video out for This Is the Way I Am, or this is
I'm
how
like
I
this.
am.
I'm like that.
It's okay, man.
Jesus.
Yeah, we just dropped that on Friday. That song, it's pretty crazy. It came together like in 2 or 3 sessions, but then just doing all like the re-editing, a lot of second guessing and stuff like that. We ended up kind of sitting on that song for a little bit, and then shot the video for it like a couple of weeks before we released it. And so I'm glad that process is over. I'm glad it's finally out. I was starting to get really anxious. Like, man, this song's been just sitting, in Dropbox now for a minute. Let's get this out, So it's good to have it out. It seems like everybody likes it so far, for the most part. So that's good.
It's a banger song. Like I was telling you before, I've been listening to it a lot and listening to a lot. Almost. I try to go systematically, chronologically from what you've released and just kind of go down from there. But it's definitely a banger, man. Definitely, it's got to be kind of a cool concept because it's like you're only releasing up. It's like these are songs that you guys working on and then releasing, or is this like a batch of songs that you guys have made and been sitting on, and now you're just fine tweaking type of situation? Or
it kind of was trending towards doing like a you know, work on a song, get it done, release it. But now we kind of have like 4 or 5, like, you know, that we sometimes we'll work on it one session and then the next time we'll go back to something else, or maybe we'll work on something completely different. But this one, we had like 2 or 3 other songs like sitting in the pot, but we just kind of out of left field with this one and ran with it.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. That's awesome. Can't wait to hear the rest of that material, my friend. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think if you like this, then I think you'll like the other stuff we're working on too. Some of it's like a lot heavier. Some of it's like a lot softer. We even have like some stuff we did that's kind of got like some like synthy, like pop stuff, but it's still heavy. Like we're trying to kind of like, you know, I don't know, it's kind of hard to reinvent the wheel, but, you know, kind of try to find our sound, I guess. So,
yeah, and then like finding your sound is a key thing in a band too, right? It's like, in coming from a band, My Bitter End is such like, it's not like, not to say pinholed, I guess you've been pigeonholed essentially, like a kind of like a metalcore, deathcore kind of style band. So it's like got to be nice to kind of be able to branch out and go to the other sides of like metal, where it's like more melodic sounding and stuff. Like me and Joe grew up being massive new metal nerds. Like we loved all the clean vocals with the heavy chugging
whatever.
riffs. Still am.
Oh yeah.
Who the fuck am I to say that I was? I still am. We are like, I always jokingly, like people always joke, but somebody's like, you're like the new metal connoisseur, and it's not a good thing. And I'm like, well, I guess it's according to you, it's not a good thing, but to me, that's a very fucking excellent thing.
I'll take it. Yeah.
That's an awesome thing, man. If it wasn't for that genre of music, I wouldn't have even liked heavy music. I'd probably be listening to like, I don't know, fucking country or something. You know what I mean? Because it would have been whatever somebody would have, you know, kept showing me at that time. But you know, I had some friends and stuff that were showing me stuff like Deftones, Korn. Those were like the big two. Obviously, like, you know, Metallica and all that stuff. But like, I think like that first Deftones record and the first Korn record were like the ones where I was like, okay, I really like this stuff. You know, like that kind of made me think outside the box of a, you know, a pop song or something like that. Like this, like kind of aggression and groove that wasn't really there with Metallica and stuff. Nothing against them, but you know, the new metal stuff was definitely had that really heavy groove, down-tuned guitar thing. And
drop D tuning
with me, so yeah.
Oh, for sure. And it was like kind of like what like people hate to admit it, but Korn was one of those bands that popularized the 7-string guitar. When you think about it, like I guess that's not true, but Sugar would have been probably doing that a little bit before. But as far as like mainstream and breaking metal into the mainstream, like Korn was one of those bands that revolutionized, I like to think, popularized the 7-string guitars. And now there's like, I think the guy from Emir now plays 8-string guitar. I've seen him play on the stage and stuff.
Yeah,
it's awesome. You can't go wrong. It's like a lot of that. What do you call that? The prog metal. What the name of it's slipping my mind right now. It's like bands like Periphery and stuff like that, where it's
like progressive.
Djent music. Yeah, like that kind of stuff is like, and it's cool that bands are kind of bringing that Meshuggah style of guitar playing and the chugging riffs and it's like formulaic, but it's very like intense and stuff. And it's nice to see and hear that, and to also hear the clean vocals and stuff getting added into it. So it's always a good art choice, like at least in my opinion. So.
Oh yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. Yeah, and I mean, I still have my, you know, if I want to listen to deathcore, if I want to listen to, you know what I mean. There's always that too. But yeah, it's kind of cool how like that late 90s, early 2000s thing is kind of coming back a little bit. And I mean, that's what I grew up on. Definitely. So I mean, I'm not mad about it, you know. So especially too, like with Common Vision, you know, that's like our style kind of. So I mean, I know some people, you know, I've seen a couple comments. Someone's like, "Oh, the late '90s are over," or whatever. And I'm like, "Well,
fuck
I'm old, man. That's the shit I grew up on, man. Of course, I'm gonna like that stuff."
No, exactly.
Be honest with yourself. That's why I like it. That's why I like Common Vision. Like, this is it. Thank God. That's not
brings
dead.
You back to a time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, like that's the whole beauty about metal, man. Yeah, definitely, dude. Because like metal is like such a it's been broke down into so many subgenres now. It's just like, it's like metal's metal to me. Whether it's clean vocals, dirty vocals, like raspy vocals, it doesn't really matter. It's like music's music, man. It's just at that point, it's like metal is just a nice like way to just paint it all as just in one category and simplify things. But like the subgenres are a thing. And it's, you know what, there's nothing really bad with it. It's like, even like, I'm shamelessly a rap metal fan. So it's like mostly of all the old rap metal bands back in the day. Not like obviously Limp Bizkit to a degree, but but like all the other rap metal bands that never got the credit.
That fucking Significant Other album goes hard. I don't care what anybody says. That shit's still.
That was a good record. I had that record.
I did.
Oh yeah, I remember that came out like summer break, man. I had that on rotation heavy. Man.
Fucking right, me too, buddy. There you go.
Hell yeah.
I didn't care for much after that one, but that was a good one.
Yeah, I think that's where I fell off with them. But yeah, $3 Bill, y'all, and Significant Other, I rocked them. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I still $3 Bill will always be an album worth spinning. Let's be real.
That was a heavy one. That was a heavy album for the time, right?
And Fred could still scream a little bit, and it wasn't so didn't come off as like more whiny rap as he kind of did, like kind of phased the rest of his career until later. You know, he's a polar guy, so
yeah, some of those songs were pretty intense.
Joe, go ahead. No, but yeah, like I remember we had Cavalera. He's Max Cavalera's stepson. We had him on the show. He's usually a regular on Joe's podcast before I jumped in, but he was telling us a funny story about Fred Durst, about how him and Fred Durst, Richie, Max's son, got on stage when he was a kid and sang "Bleed" with Soulfly and Fred Durst. And I guess, like, if I'm not mistaken, Joe, didn't Richie say that he ended up stealing Fred Durst's Adidas from the bus or something that night or something?
No, him and Fred Durst's manager like went to Fred's house and like broke into his house and stole his Adidas.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Man.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, those are classics, dude. I miss those shoes. I gotta go get myself.
That's the new metal staple, man. Adidas track jacket. Telto sneakers. Oh yeah, all day.
Or those the pony.
Except with my family.
Pony shoes.
My family. Yeah. Oh, sorry. My family with the obviously not getting the expensive Adidas ones. You get the Walmart ones with the 3 stripes. Yeah. You're like, it's supposed to be 4 stripes, Mom. It's supposed to be 4.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the tracksuits. Those were legendary.
Well, that was all Mr. Jonathan Davis and Chino. They would wear those. It's like, no, those guys are so fucking cool. I need that. I'm like an idiot, but I need that.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Dreadlocks. Both had dreadlocks.
Yeah. Kevin had dreadlocks at one time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had, before I went bald and had to shave my head, I once upon a time had dreadlocks. And it wasn't until El Nino, actually, where like the band that was like pretty much all of them had dreadlocks. It was like a prerequisite, but that was like the nailing point of having a picture of their band on my wall and be like, I'm going to fucking have dreadlocks. And 4 years later, I grew dreadlocks and lasted a year, and then I had to wash them out. And a bunch of dirty blacks and not being able to shampoo your hair and stuff for a year kind of got a little gross. So once one dread broke off, and I'm like, and I'm just shaving my head.
Damn.
Actually, come to think of it, I think that's probably why I fucking went bald. It probably expedited the test at least. So
deal process, yeah. Yeah. I never had dread. I had a couple buddies that had it though. They had the same issues with breaking off and stuff, so they ended up getting rid of them.
That's funny.
Yeah, luckily, it's when it gets bad when you get to the mold, and then there's like mold. Like it didn't get to that point. I feel like it was if I kept them for another couple months, it definitely would have happened. I think so.
Gross.
It's a commitment, that's for sure.
That is a commitment.
It's like your hair would fucking mold, like fuzzy, like you'd get fuzzy fucking.
Yeah, it could. It eventually. It's like I've heard horror stories like we're in the dread. It's to like mold and stuff because it's obviously it gets suffocated, so like you're knotting it. And I was using dread wax too, so it was suffocating it essentially with wax, backcombing, doing the whole thing, and it was a lot to have to upkeep every day. I had to play with my hair like every day just to keep it looking like semi-presentable, and I didn't look like fucking a rat or something.
The dude from like Shadows Fall, he had him like down all the way down to like his ass.
Yeah. That was a good fucking band.
I don't know if he has it or not, but I haven't seen a picture of him in a long time. But I remember like when we see that play, like I was like, damn, that's a commitment right there, man.
Oh, definitely, especially that. Like, I think they're one of those New Englander bands, eh? Like, I swear, there's like that, the breed of like Shadows Fall and Kill Switch, and I think All That Remains were all from that same area, type of thing. It's like back in that explosion point, like I guess like pretty close to what was Boston with the Unearthed and stuff like that. So Unearthed has been one of those super awesome bands too. So
yeah,
well,
they were definitely one of those bands that came through very often. So I got to see them a lot growing up too. That was pretty badass. Actually, like I think a couple of my local bands got to open up for them. We had to like, you know, do the 50 ticket sales or whatever to get on the bill with them or whatever, but it was awesome.
That's awesome.
Oh, 100%.
Fucking right.
Stand there and watch like Ken and Buzz play guitar.
Oh, dude, I literally could watch those guys play all the time. I've seen them like 5 or 6 times now, and I've talked to them a couple times after the shows. There couldn't be any cooler dudes, right? Like, they're more down-to-earth dudes that you can really ever ask for in a metal band, that's for sure. Especially since I made an ass out of myself at their show. I think they remembered me because I saw them, and then 2 years later went and saw them in Saskatoon, 2 hours away from my previous home in Regina. And they actually remembered me because I was the guy that ended up crowd surfing and getting thrown onto the stage. I was pretty much on the stage for every one of their songs and jumping back into the crowd. I fell into the drummer's drum kit. He remembered that. Because I remember I got up and I tried to stand up and I was so drunk I fell backwards into his drum kit and then ended up like looking back as he's playing and he's like, "What the fuck, dude?" And I'm like, "Sorry." Jumped off the stage, get back into the crowd. I was just like, thankfully they never got to that point where they just get fucking enough of this guy, get him fucking off the stage permanently. So, but yeah, they remembered that. I thought that was pretty funny. I was just like, "Yeah, you guys played in Regina a couple years back and I was on the stage like just as often as you guys were." And they're like, "Oh yeah, I remember that." Because I ended up buying them shots shortly after, I think too. So nice. Back in the youth days where I could still kind of, you know, party and, you know, do cool stuff. Now I'm just kind of all getting old and I'll just sit in the back and watch the shows now.
Same.
The moshing
gotta
days,
like kind of retired from the mosh.
Yeah, exactly.
I like to think that the three of us have some probably pretty serious street cred. Obviously, being in my bitter end, Kevin, me and you used to throw down fucking hard when we were just like kids, so we can leave it for the puppies.
Teenagers.
Yeah. Leave it for the youth, and we can sit there and say,
it's a pick and choose.
That's right. We can snap in the back and say, "You're not doing it right. It's not how you mosh, bro." I'm not going to show you, but that's not how we used to do it.
No, I'm not pulling a hammy tonight.
No, definitely. Like many of bruised bones, many of like ruptures in my neck. I remember I pulled a muscle so bad. I was out for like a week or something like that, and I couldn't move my neck at all. It's like pinched a nerve or something. But it's all for the metal. It's all worth it.
Yeah. That era of music, you were definitely having some war stories and some injuries.
Oh, for sure. Like the only time I ever saw Hatebreed was the first. And I've seen not millions, but dozens upon dozens upon dozens of bands. And the scariest pit I've been in Slipknot, Lamb of God 4 times. Hatebreed's mosh pit. I didn't get anywhere near it. And I'm just like, I was going to go in, but there were so many dudes 3 times my size that I'm just like, no, I'm just going to hang back for a bit. And I'll jump in for the next song. And watched my buddy who's 3 inches smaller than me get into the pit. And then he comes out with a dislocated shoulder and a fucking bleeding nose and whatnot. I'm just like, damn, man. I said it like, he's like, "I'm going in." He tried to pull me in, and I'm like, no. I'm looking like such a nerf in front of this chick I took to the show, and I'm like, I'm not scared. I just don't want to get hurt.
Smart move.
Yeah, they go hard for Hatebreed.
Oh God, how could they not go? I think
one of my first shows I went to was Hatebreed, and I was just like, "What is going on down there?" Like, because the Chance had like a balcony, and I remember going up there, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'll watch like part of the setup here." I was like 15, man. I was scared to go down there, you know. And then like I see like all that, I'm like, damn, everybody's getting murdered down there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But it's the next show or whatever, you go in a couple times, then before you know it, you're in there like the whole set, and you know all the bands, and
I'm going in just for one.
just for one.
Yeah.
16 songs later, I regret my life.
Yeah. Bruised and sore.
Definitely. I was gonna say I'm definitely the Jones and Verse show. It's almost like I guess the last show I would have gone to would have been Very end of February. I think it was like the 28th or 29th of February this year. I think it was the Silverstein's 20-year anniversary show for their first debut release. So I got to see them in 4 Year Strong, and that was a fucking awesome show. At least I got to say I saw a show in 2020. But yeah, it's still like, man, it's not the same. So many good bands, so many great bands like Common Vision that I just love to be able to see you guys get that opportunity to actually tour and like spread out your band. I try to share as much of your stuff as I can, just trying to get you guys. Love to get the ball rolling for awesome independent artists like that, you know. 100%.
So is that kind of the plan, AJ, when all this shit dies down and you guys can do shows again? Is there talks of like just getting in the fucking van and heading out?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, like I said, today actually marks, it's 1 year since we played a live show, and I mean, it's depressing. We want to, live shows are such a big part of it, you know. Actually, there's no better way than to play your music in front of people. Hearing it, yeah, of course, it's perfect and everything, but, the energy doesn't always come across, especially if it's somebody that may or may not listen to that style of music, but they hear it live, that, more than likely they're going to see the energy from the crowd and, us performing, and maybe that's what it'll take to, get them to maybe actually go listen to us, in the car or something like that. So,
yeah. Oh yeah, that's a cardinal rule. Like some of my favorite parts about going to shows back in the day was like even before the internet, where you could actually go and find the artist and sample them out before you go to the show. It was like a much more tedious task. You either had to go buy the music or go to a record store, put it into the play booth, and
the
be able to put
station,
the in the listening stations and like check it out beforehand, or you just go in blind and then you get blown away by the live performances. It's like That's how I like bands like that's how I first heard Papa Roach. It was like the first big metal show I ever went to was Korn, the Sick and Twisted tour with Korn, Power Man 5000, and then a debuting Papa Roach. And never heard of this band like at the time. I obviously knew Korn and Power Man, but then you walk in, you get introduced to a brand new band you never heard of, and they play their set. And by the end of it, you're like, I literally the next day went to the record store after I finished my summer school class and bought the CD. And it's like I just miss those days where go into a band or a concert and go in blind and then come out like with a new favorite band, So
yeah. I mean, a lot of the bands that I still listen to this day, like I probably found them from going to a show, never knowing who they were. I was there to see somebody else and being like, wow, who are these guys? Another thing too is even like we had in the early 2000s, we had in upstate New York, we used to have the Hellfest, and it was like 3 days of just nonstop bands, and just walking out of there like, wow, yeah, that band was awesome. I'm going over to their merch table. I'm gonna go buy a CD. I'm gonna buy a shirt, and I must have found like dozens of bands like those years. Just every time I'd go, like never heard these guys, but now I'm obsessed with them. And that it's weird because nowadays like kids, they won't, they can hear everything now. They're gonna hear the opening band probably more than likely, and the opening band's probably gonna have something decent out on. If it's not on Spotify, maybe SoundCloud or something. I don't know. But now, like those days of just being like, somebody's on stage and going, "Who is this?" That's a lot more rare now.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Yeah, absolutely. Those Hellfest lineups were legendary. I remember the 2002, 2003, and 2004. It was like a ritual. Me and my old friend Al, we used to watch we'd do closing shifts. We'd come home and have a case of beer, and we would watch the Hellfest DVDs and just be like,
dude.
Or like Poison the Well, these guys are fucking insane, and like all these awesome Dillinger Escape Plan, like all these like
the Locust, they're crazy.
Yeah, the Locust, there was like so many crazy bands.
I'll have to find the timestamp so you can see. I don't know. I think I must be like 17 at the time or something like that. Like I'm in like all those videos because I went to all those. So you see me like stage diving and moshing and everything. I'm like probably 100 pounds.
I'm gonna
wet.
My favorite parts of those Hellfest shows are when like fucking people just rush the stage and get on the microphone. The band is still somehow to keep up and play the song while they're surrounded by all these people moshing and trying to grab the microphone and sing the fucking key part of the breakdown. I'm just like, oh man, that shift, like being up a new metal kid at that point, not really being super involved in anything that's hardcore really, except for maybe Hatebreed, I guess.
Yeah.
Seeing all those bands and the passion and the energy, and like it's aggressive as fuck, but it's like a lot of people always like get that bullshit generalization that metal music's always so angry and stuff. But you got to take into account that it's a cathartic experience for a lot of people. It's like that anger and aggression.
A lot of people showing up too, you know, like there was bands from, I mean, like 18 Visions and Throwdown. They came from like California. They brought hundreds of
Bleeding
people.
Through.
I mean, there was so many people there to see those guys from California that flew in to be there. Then you had like, you know, I think even Earth Crisis was there, and they had like their other their side band there, and they're from there. Then you had Converge. You had Kill Switch, so all the Boston people are coming. I mean, it was just like the Mecca, really.
For sure.
People were going nuts. But overall, I mean, I got to go to all of them. I mean, they never really got like there wasn't like any crazy like fights or anything like that. I think in like 2004, like the one band, I think it was like Bad Luck 13. They like
they light a bunch of shit on fire. They went fucking crazy.
They
went nuts.
That.
But aside from that, I mean, like as crazy as everybody was going, like somebody fell, they were getting picked up and stuff. Like it was really actually a really good time all around.
Yeah, that's the thing is people get scared off by it, but it's not as violent as you think. It's like, you know, people mosh, but if you're doing it the right way and the smart way is you mosh. If you do happen to lay somebody out or knock them down, you pick them up, you know, it looks violent, but really the majority of the people that aren't the assholes are those guys at the show where they go intentionally to try to hurt somebody, or I'm going to go in there and punch this guy in the face excuse type of thing, you know? It's like those are the people that have, like get phased out. Those are the shitty troublemakers and stuff. Seen that dozens of times when people like I've seen artists like I remember Phil Labonte from All the Remains kicked a guy out because he kept getting on the stage. And you know when you do the crowd walking or whatever, when you like run and stomp on people, he was like running and stomping on people. But then when he would fall on top of people, he started like kicking them in the back of the head intentionally and stuff. And he did it so many like times after the first two songs that Phil singled him out and was like, get this fucking guy out of here. It's like, you know, like my music is not the soundtrack to your fucking beatdown. Get the fuck out of here. And then it's just like, man,
that's awesome.
It's like I love seeing that. Like those diehard people, those losers that go into the shows thinking that you need to go in there and beat somebody up. You know, it's just like, you just go there and enjoy the music. You mosh around, you push some people, you hug, you high five. The bromance, it's bromance to the extreme.
Yeah, you're always gonna have a couple of bad apples. I mean, even like with My Bitter End, we were, you know, we had enough breakdowns to get places shut down and plenty of times. And I mean, you know, you just got to stop playing and be like, yo, everybody chill the hell out, man. Like, you don't want to see anybody get like, you know, killed or, you know, put in a coma or anything like that, you know. I think there's even a video on YouTube somebody sent me when we did our video. We did like some live video stuff for our music video, and like there was a fight that broke out. We like couldn't get anybody to stop, so the way to get them to stop was we started playing Eye of the Tiger, and it kind of got everybody's like attention off the fight enough to, and we like played it like, you know, we chugged it out, and I put like some harmonies over the octave. It was actually pretty cool. But they're screaming in the microphone, and I mean, before you know it, the fight was over, and then we got to go back to playing our songs. But
oh, that's dope. That's dope. That's like it's awesome to hear, because that's like the you predated the metalcore cover that Howard Jones did with that. I think it was Light the Torch. I think his band was, where they did the cover of Eye of the Tiger. I think.
No, they did. Did they do Eye of the Tiger? Because I know he did that.
Yeah, I think they did that.
They did. It was before Light the Torch, though. It was whatever band he was in before that.
Because I can't remember, because I thought it was the same band. Me either.
They changed the name, and then they came out with a different record, and I don't think they play those other songs. I saw them at Rockville like the year before or whatever, and like they only played the songs off the newer stuff, like the actual Light the Torch stuff. The Devil You Know, I think that's what they were.
Yes, thank you. That's what it was, because it was some legal
battle. They did
battle.
they did cover Eye of the Tiger. You're right.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah, because I was like, I remember hearing that recently, but I was like, you guys definitely did that before that cover was cool in metalcore, so that's cool to hear.
For sure. We should have recorded it if I would have thought it was a big deal. Yeah. So it was a good little, you know, everybody's fighting, distract them real quick.
Perfect.
Yeah.
What better way than
I would have started the air clapping and then dun dun.
Hell yeah. 100%. Yeah. We picked the.
So in regards. Yeah. That build up is key, and then definitely that would be just be crushing it for sure.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That's so funny.
So, in regards to any like record releases, have you guys don't have any thing on Common Vision on vinyl yet, do you? By chance, I don't think I